Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching The World Talents. I'm Seyid, independent journalist from Montreal, Canada. And I'm going too far tonight to the Middle East in Egypt to talk about a new theme, the emotional shutdown in this challenging time. With me, a great author, Judita Wolfe, and she is writing a bestseller book under the title, The Unfolding, A Journey of the Involution. Judita, how did you come with this title, please?
The title just came to me because I believe that life is not a process of becoming, but of unfolding everything that is not true. And the way to do that is to go within. And that's why it's called The Unfolding, and it's a journey of involution.
And what is this journey all about, please? And what is the involution itself, for those who don't know it?
Sure. Well, involution is the opposite of revolution. Revolution, you understand that something is happening outside of us, but involution is pretty much the revolution inside. It's the unearthing of all old patterns and old belief systems that are not serving us anymore, our emotions, our traumas, everything. Like, we have to know who we are and meet ourselves deeply enough so that we can understand the world better and communicate better.
And how we can understand who we are. That's another challenging theme.
Yes, that is a process, that is the journey, because it is a lifelong journey. It never ends. And we do have a core, an essence, and we need to just remove everything that everybody else told us that we are not, and have the courage to be who we are, basically, without trying to please the world, or trying not to step over anybody, but like not to box ourselves in a certain frame and believe that we don't deserve anything more.
And how we can derive that courage despite all the discouragement around.
You have to shut down the discouragement out there, because the courage, I love that you said courage, and it reminds me of Brené Brown when she said courage comes from the Latin word cur, which is heart, and it means just to go into your heart and follow your curiosity, follow your passion, and as long as you're not hurting anybody else, then it's the only way for you to really contribute and to be loved and to be at your best in whatever you're doing, whether it's your relationships, your friendships, your work environment, everything. It's just people don't believe that it's possible, and so they limit themselves, and that's that. But so yeah, courage is to go into your heart.
But the problem is this, we're coming to this of a generalization of NLP, which is criticized by certain people, telling you, yeah, they will make it so easy. They say everything is within you, within your reach. You have to plunge in your deeper heart, and all the solutions are inside. You know how to know it, and nobody is going to tell you how to do it or how to know it. And even when you plunge inside your inner voice, your inner world, after a journey of exploration, you come out with whatever it is you think that it is your passion for the rest of your life, then you will be surprised and discouraged again that the community, the society is not accepting who you are. It's not accepting the revealed nature of your deep heart. And then you'll find yourself in a new crisis of identity in eternity.
I love you, because that's exactly take all of these cliches and really break it down for people, which is wrote this particular book, one that's already available, The Unfolding, A Journey of Involution. The idea is that, let's say you have to go into your heart and you have everything within you. The actual process there's a price to pay. You're gonna upset a lot of people, and the way you do it on your own, you have to confront your shadow. We all have a shadow archetype, and you have traumas. Well, even if your home at childhood was a good home and there was no major chaos going around, you still get traumatized because children are very fragile and we translate things very differently. So what you need to do is, the first thing is to really, really, really believe that your worth is inherent. It's not dependent on what who's saying what around you. It's not about who stayed in your life and who left. It's inherent, by divine right or by higher energy. Whatever your belief system is, it doesn't matter. So first, it's your worth. Second is that you have to sit by yourself and risk losing a lot of people and a lot of jobs, and there's a big price to pay. I'm not saying it's an easy journey.
So what is the price? What is the price to pay, and what is the great lesson that your book is teaching the world?
I really break down the meanings of emotion, like emotions that are misunderstood, like forgiveness, for example, or what love actually is, and how to avoid the people that are actually out to just diminish you and ostracize you. And how many people have you admired? Like, most of them, or if not all of them, have been through this ostracism, and they have been through a tremendous failure and tremendous loss, and look where they are today. So yeah, there is a price to pay and everything, but it's not as high as the price to pay by abandoning yourself and betraying yourself. So and it's your choice. You can live the rest of your life and be okay with whatever you're able to do and please your community, or you can take a year or two of going inside, cleaning out all of your wounds to the best of your ability. It's like, you don't necessarily are able to heal everything, but at least you unlock some keys within you, and start to neutralize the buttons so that nobody is pushing them. Go and do what you are actually created to do, and you're going to get a lot of resentment and get a lot of jealousy and a lot of haters and everything, and just ignore all of that, because these are the same people that are going to come and congratulate you later and try to imitate you and say, I always believed you knew. And then you get all kinds of cousins and best friends from school that you never had. You see what I mean? So there is people want to have everything, but they don't want to put in the work for it.
So what the
You
work
have to
shall
put
we?
in the work.
So what's the work or the homework that we have to do or to make it easy? So for all of us, yeah, it's and I learned that you say it's called the a whole journey, process of healing, a process of growth, a period of cleansing, and how long it will take, and what will be the outcome of this inward involution journey, please.
It varies from person to person. Somebody could have many more traumas and take less time, and vice versa. So every journey is very unique to each individual. But the good news is that I really firmly believe that it's a decision. It takes a decision to say, I don't want this anymore. I deserve more than that. And now I'm willing to put in the work to do it, and then see how long it takes for you. I cannot tell you how long it takes for everybody. But what I can tell you from my own personal experience is that I have compounded trauma. I've been diagnosed with complex PTSD, which is similar to what you get in like war zones, except it's one event. The complex PTSD is more compounded and emotional, and it takes a lifetime to actually heal from. So let's play a game, all right? Like I'll explain something so that maybe it gets closer to the listeners. If you take a white piece of paper, all right, and then you draw patterns and colors on it and make them dark, like that represents your traumas. And then you can kind of make them in a cone and put water through it. And this water represents the new pattern you're trying to create. Instead of fighting the whole time with how you hate the colors and you don't like these patterns and you're not good enough in all of these scenarios, just start to create new habits and new decisions moment by moment. Like, take it slowly, one step at a time. And before you know it, that old one is going to be obsolete. It's not going to be there anymore. Is that like, am I reaching you with this example? Like, there's this famous quote that it's not about fighting the old, but creating something new that makes the old obsolete. So don't get hooked on the toxic positivity and I have to be happy and healthy all the time. And nobody's like that. We're human beings and suffering is part of it. So
The
what I'm trying to
side is
say
to minimize the suffering. How we can minimize this suffering, how we can help those who are failing to succeed along the journey based on your personal great experience. And I'm sorry for the whole process that you have gone through. So you are really brave when you are able to go through all of this, despite all the emotional
thank
shutdown.
you.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which I guess, thank you very much. Really appreciate your acknowledgement. It's basically, it's not like, I'm completely addicted to watching Gabor Mate, and he explains it so beautifully about traumas, that it's not what happened to us that really it hurts us for the rest of our lives. It's how it's the impact of it, and the impact of it is really bad when the people around you are not supportive of you. They just let you do it on your own, and we really need each other in this time. We need to be more empathetic and hold space for each other. So you had a question.
Yeah, just remind me of something that you have said preliminary in the preliminary stage of this interview, that the problem nowadays, there's no space for anyone, and this is harder even than criminality, because you think it's a kind of a criminal act by itself.
Yeah, I actually think it is. It's like it's like character assassination. They call it character assassination for a reason. If when I encounter a murderer, which I have, and I know he's a murderer, I know what he's about, and even though I was really young and I didn't really have the tools to understand what the hell is going on, because you think everybody's nice by nature, there is a way to communicate with this individual because you know what they are and you know what to expect. So you know how to anticipate your next move and how, if you're lucky, you get away and stay alive. What happened though is that the average person, if you have a bunch of friends and they're not really your friends, they're not supporting your dreams, they're not uplifting you when you're going through a dark time, they get bored if you want to resolve it with someone. You know, they ridicule you, they call you weak, they call you too sensitive. And then what does that do? There was a time in my life, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud, but honestly, there was a time in my life when I almost chose to just be around those direct, like obvious criminals, because I knew what to expect. It was so scary. Like you sit with people that you've known all of your life and you don't know where the knife is coming from. So we need to learn to stop calling each other too sensitive and to accept that we are emotional beings. We're not logical. We're not rational beings. We're emotional beings. We're we're all crazy, which means that there is no such thing as crazy or normal. You know, we just need to be loved and forgiven and understood and embraced. And if you do this for yourself, like it's a bonus when you have people that do this for you. And I was really lucky to have some incredible people and family members that actually are there for me, and they're beautiful. But even when you are alone, and that's what trauma teaches you, is that you're all alone and nobody gives a shit. Even if they do, your mind is saying you're all alone. You still have to do it by yourself and figure it out. and whoever wasn't there for you will come around later, and if they don't, then it doesn't matter, they're just not part of your journey. So yeah, criminals uh, are obvious. The people around us, we're lucky if we have a couple of friends that we can trust with our lives.
Okay, but
That's what I really believe.
yes, how it was for you to be in this direct experience of communicating, seeing, viewing the murderers, and were you able to face them, or how do you go beyond that to the forgiven act and the forgotten story later on? And I was surprised when you say we are emotional, when we are rational, and when we are reading all of this rational literature in this world today of science and rational thinking and philosophy, and we are taking everything carefully after studying it rationally, and you have rejected everything, and you turn out starting from square zero.
Well, no, not really. I mean, like when it comes to science, science is science. Like there's fact-based things we cannot argue. I'm saying that the way we make decisions are based in emotion, even if we think that we're very rational about it. Like the most rational people in the world, I personally find them really irrational because they shut down their nature. They go against nature, and that's why the human race is really, really suffering. If you look around nature, if you sit with an animal, if you sit and connect with a tree and observe how nature is operating and how everything in nature gets everything right, they know what to do and how to eat and how to survive. And here we are fighting against nature, fighting against our emotions. We're fighting against um, our purpose, our dreams, our worthiness. You don't find animals sitting thinking, oh, I'm not good enough, so I don't deserve to eat, so I'm gonna just die. Like only human beings kind of I don't know why we do that.
We are beating ourselves, so we don't even wait to be bitten. Yeah,
Yeah,
already beaten by the society and by the whole system and the environment, and then we are not in harmony with nature, and then finally we make more injustice to ourselves by beating ourselves hardly and harshly as well.
we are the worst war zone in our own minds. Like don't worry about the world out there, like what each person has in their own mind. Nobody really deserves that, nobody. And I really believe that whether
Yes, exactly.
let's talk about forgiveness for a moment because it's so misunderstood.
Okay, how we can forgive and how we can discharge ourselves of all this negativity in our mind or spirit or heart, whatever you want to call it, please.
Okay, I'm going to answer the second part of the question because that's the easiest part. Is life, everything in life is based on the meaning that we give it, and it takes a shift in perception. So if somebody hurts you in some way, we're very quick to take it to mean that we're not worthy. And if we just shift the perception and separate our own sense of worth and stop abandoning ourselves, then we're gonna have much better relationship with ourselves. Well, when it comes to forgiveness, that it doesn't mean that what happened to you is okay, and it doesn't mean that you will become best friends with the person that held the gun to your head. It means that their actions do not dictate how I feel and make decisions now or in the future. So the process of forgiveness, first we have to forgive ourselves in the sense that we all make mistakes and we make stupid decisions, and we don't have to take it to mean that we are bad people. We say that we are worthy of a good life. Yeah, we made this mistake and we're not going to do it again. That's forgiveness. So you don't beat yourself up. The other thing is that you you actually become free. What I know, that's my own personal view with them. So you don't have to take it on as your own reality, but I really believe that everything that we don't forgive creates blockages in our bodies and like kind of crystal like feeling. All right. So, and those emotions that are not processed, they become illnesses. They become cancer for grief. They become MS. They become all of these things. These
Really,
physical,
really.
yes,
This is
yes. And the
psychologically, and oh,
yes, the physical manifestation, and which is excellent proof that your mind is so powerful. If you keep it, okay, so if you hurt me
I
and
will never,
I hold it, if I hold a grudge because you hurt me and
never.
I refuse to let it go, then I might develop some kind of physical illness because I'm holding on to this poison. It's poison.
Hmm.
So I have to release the emotion. I don't have to talk to you again. If you are someone who continues to want to hurt me, I don't have to deal with you, but I can forgive you, because which means I'm not going to allow you to continue to do it even in your absence. You see what I mean?
Okay, it's great that this is a great handstand from this great lesson that if we are forgiving, we are healing ourselves even before the second part. So it is kind of very selfish, easy to do. So let's forget and forgive
It's no,
to heal
you don't
ourselves first.
forget. Please don't forget. No. You might end up, in bad situation. You don't want to do
If it's
that.
going to bring me disease, then better to forget it all. And
Yes. This is what's really contagious. Like this right here. Like there's the pandemic that is like whatever, and then there's this pandemic, which is, oh my, like at least this one we can control.
oh,
If
great.
anybody is causing you bad emotions, or you are causing yourself toxicity, because it's not always other people, then
So we are disturbing ourselves too. So that's why we
yes,
are always blaming the others. And that's
yes,
reminding the proverb, those who cannot dance, put the blame on the floor. It's us who are not playing the game.
yes. I
So,
love it. I love that. We blame the floor. I like it.
so we are disturbing ourselves. So how we disturb ourselves and how we will forgive ourselves then. So the self then here will be the enemy.
Which we are now. Look at the world around us. Like everybody's
Oh, what a philosophy that.
yeah. Well, I mean, there's evidence. It's not even philosophy anymore.
Mm.
But I mean, it's the same. You forgive yourself and you make a decision, a conscious decision, to be very aware of your thoughts,
Okay.
because they do manifest, and your emotions. And I found that the best way, like one of the fastest way to also do that, is to not, while you're still vulnerable and working through your pain, you need to understand that you're not strong enough yet to be around toxicity and be okay. After a while, like the toxicity will get to you anyway, even if you're a strong person, it doesn't matter. But I mean, if you are around chaos all the time, it forces you to have negative talk by complaining. But if you're not around it, it's kind of protecting your space, protecting the sanctity of your friendships and your relationships and your work environment.
Okay, so you are bringing a lot of good points and very interesting. For example, this complaining, the protecting space issue, and this lead me to another question: how to manage hunger and hate, rationally or irrationally? I don't know.
Well, anger, I actually have a
Based on the
section on
process
anger.
of how you call it, the unfolding the journey of involution, or based on your own journey, how you were able to manage your own anger at the system, at anything, at yourself, whatever it is.
It's very useless to be angry at the system and the state of the world, because I think it's just a drug to numb ourselves away from our own problems.
Okay.
If each individual cleans up their own mess, then guess how the world is going to look like, because each one is cleaning their own area. So, but anger is really addressed in the book, which the way I put it is that there's anger and there's sacred anger. Anger is when I want to blame others and when I want to be a victim, which is a very comfortable, cozy space to be. It's like I'm a victim and they did this to me, so I'm not responsible. Responsibility is the ability to respond to life. So if I'm blaming other people, then I don't have responsibility, so that I'm not able to change my own life. Be angry and project and accuse people of things that I'm doing, which is what a lot of people are doing. The other one is sacred anger, which can be transformed into passion. The energy can be transformed. You don't go and say, I don't want to be angry. Some people go and meditate and do yoga and go to the gym, and it becomes toxic positivity. They end up suppressing their anger, and then it makes them even more sick, because they think they're all happy vibes, like good vibes only and stuff like that, which is very toxic. So sacred anger is just use some, what are you passionate about? Sit with you. First, address that you're angry. Your anger is a secondary emotion. Underneath it is disappointment, there's sadness, there's grief, there's fear. And then admit all of these emotions, and then once you say, if you say I'm very angry, and then you say, but why are you angry? And then you say, oh, because I am sad. It changes the conversation. It changes the way people relate to each other. And then you take that excess energy from your rage and go paint or take a trip or like do something while you're doing your inner work. So you're not deflecting.
So is this admitting of this process, is admitting only enough for cleansing this toxic attitude, or not?
Yeah, can
or
I tell
just a
you?
part of the process too? Yes.
Can I tell you a quote actually from the book? I say sometimes, like, enough with all the healing. Let us embrace the perfect mess we are. Sometimes it all it takes is, I mean, of course we don't do spiritual bypassing. You don't just skip over the whole process and then say, oh, I'm just a mess, that's just how I am. That's also not very self-serving. What you want to explain to people is that go and do your inner work, but don't get addicted to your inner work.
Okay, great.
Because it can be an addiction. So sometimes just accept what happened and then do whatever you need to do to let it go and start over.
Okay, great. Great. Thank you so much for that. Okay. So can you share some of the best memorable line of your book as healing advisors, please?
Okay, let me. All right. So there's one is anything suppressed comes out in a violent way. What we communicate resolves, what we avoid intensifies.
Great.
This is kind of self-explanatory.
Okay.
And then there's the beauty of death. You want me to stop?
Yes, go ahead.
Say again.
Just keep on reading those great lines. Yeah, a lot of wisdom there. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes.
You're welcome. The beauty of death is that everyone will get to face the truth then. We will be released then. There will be justice then. There will be forgiveness then. There will be love then. Until then.
Oh,
so
great. That's a masterpiece, poetic, elegant writing. How did you come with that? Are you writing that at 4 in the morning or?
Yes. Actually, yeah, between 3 and 5 is the best writing.
3 to 5. Okay. That's a great. So right now, we are coming to the chapter of writing. And you said that writing is your best friend. And you have a best time for writing. And you have chosen the most difficult one between 3 to 5 in the morning when everybody is sleeping. How do you manage your creativity in this absolute silent moment of being lonely when the universe is completely silent?
There's something spiritual about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. I think that we were designed as human beings to wake up before sunrise, to meditate and to align ourselves and set intentions, and then go through the day and then sleep shortly after sundown. So there's something about, like, when they say I'm inspired, so it's because that's the time when something else talks through you. It's not necessarily, maybe I'm just the vessel that is writing for that voice that comes between 3 and 5 in the morning. I don't always commit to 3 and 5 because sometimes it depends what I'm writing, and it depends which phase in the writing I'm in. Some require different times. If it's writing like this, like the quotes I read, that's between 3 and 5 for sure. Other times, no, I would sit somewhere quietly during the day and just get to work, even if I don't feel like it.
That's great. I like that word, the voice of moaning. And I could be the vessel. I really love that. So great genius. Oh, you are taking me too far away. Oh, thank you so much. This is really excellent. This is so nice to hear. Wow. Yeah. Great.
Thank you
so much. Okay. Tell me about this project of writing your memories for the last 20 years. You're writing,
oh wow,
and it is still unfinished product. 20 years of writing, and you are still on it. What are you writing then?
It's finished. It's actually finished. It's just, it didn't leave my hands yet. And and
still a process of editing. Yes, yeah.
I'm editing, and also I'm actually in the process of allowing myself to give it to the world and let go of it. It's the most vulnerable thing I've ever written. It's a very scary book for me to write because it takes me back into every experience. But what happened this year is that I stopped thinking about myself. I just started thinking, who can I serve? And every time I see some woman going through something, it breaks my heart, and it makes me angry. And then I feel it's my duty to share stories and to share ideas of how to get out of it if she's still stuck in it. And even I address men as well, just the same, So, but believe it or not, it's a very dark topic because of the nature of the memoir and what happened. But it has its humor. It's kind of it's a dark topic with a light feel to it, because the first criminal I ever encountered was a was a comedian.
Oh. Comedians should never be criminals. They are there to make people happy and not to disturb them or kill them. That's contradiction. It's all kind of contradiction. Memories of 20 years of writing and all darkness, and finding light in darkness, and then finding comedians in criminality. What a world you are here.
Oh my God. Actually, you should always stay away from, like, most comedians.
I'm really staying away from everyone, even if he's not a comedian. So, right now, the good news is everybody is shut up. It's
well, yeah.
Right now, it's Corona time, and everybody is home. So at least the only way that we can reach the world is going online. Only online contact is allowed for the moment, for everybody's safety. Yes, and stay safe. We need you for another century at least.
Century? I don't know about that.
Just try.
That's exhausting.
You think that the world would not be able to be with you for another century? Or you are not bearing with the world for another century? Which one?
I mean, I will be in it, just not on Earth. I'll be like somewhere else.
You don't know. You never know. Some people are living 100 years, sometimes are more, sometimes less. We never know.
Yeah, it's not one of my dreams to
Yeah.
be 100. No. I'm
Oh, so you
okay.
have dreams for death as well. So,
No,
and you seen beauty in the death as well. Oh, right.
there is beauty. Okay, you want to know something really good that would help people?
Yeah, sure.
I always put the deathbed just before me for one reason. If I see, okay, it puts everything into perspective. Like if I feel lazy and I'm like, oh my God, I don't feel like writing, it feels so difficult. I see myself on a deathbed and then looking in retrospect and think, that was so simple to do. Why didn't you do it? And then as soon as I put things into perspective through the deathbed, I go for life. I love to feel alive. I love there's so much fun to be had. There's so much passion to be had. It's beautiful. It's beautiful out there. It's just like, you just hope to find people that want to enjoy it with you, you know?
I really don't know. I never know that beauty. I don't never think that there's anything beautiful there. I've never been there, and I've only read about Shakespeare saying that dead are travelers and they never return to share their story. I'm still waiting for them to come back. And I was surprised by this deathbed that you are using as a trick and a solution when everybody is afraid of death. They say, it's coming anyway. Why should I expect it? Why should I anticipate it? Why put it even next to me in my space before
Because
sleeping? You want to
no,
have a nightmare of death too?
no, it's not, because it's how you see death. I'm saying that if this is our last day on earth, a lot of the
Then we
things
have
that
to
you
run,
no, where are you gonna run?
escape,
To
to,
where?
to delay a little bit, or to maybe enjoy still a few minutes. So I don't even know, whatever. It's a
Yeah,
part
but
of this.
are you okay? Are you enjoying life right now?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. So then there you go. But a lot of people are afraid of death when they're not actually alive. They're not enjoying the beauties about life and about the the things they can achieve. All I'm saying about the deathbed, so I'm not misunderstood, is that if I know it could be my last moment, my decisions will be very different than if I think it's not gonna happen anytime soon. I'm not gonna procrastinate. I'm not gonna be mean to my loved ones. I'm gonna do my best to remedy any arguments. My decisions will be very different.
Okay, so you are using it as a motivating
Yes.
tool. Okay, so what are some of the best working tool that was working for you during this journey of growth and what you call the process of healing? So what you are proposing as a bullet solution
For work,
for everyone to learn from your great experience. Yes.
okay.
Especially the big theme of that we're talking about all in this journey, the shutdown journey, emotional shutdown, how people can get out of their selfishness to help others, to appreciate others, to get beyond all of this trouble and the drama that they are in, and the conflict between being angelic or being from tragic to angelic, or from angelic to tragic, and how we go beyond all of this to be real servant of ourselves, our families, and our community too, and be a
um,
better person. How to get going, get ahead, how to get ahead, how to be better despite everything around, which is not that beautiful as might be or might we think of.
yeah, well, my first point would be to slow down.
Mhm.
Slow down in your thoughts, in your actions, in your emotions. Just slow down. Ask yourself what is really true and what isn't, because the inner dialogue a lot of the times is just most of it is not true. It's just mind tricks. Um, Fear is can be fuel to. I mean, we do have evidence that if we sit in fear or anxiety, uh, not only are we anticipating a very bad event that probably won't happen because most of the times that's how our minds operate, we're also bringing it to this present moment. And when we think about the past, especially when it comes to traumatic events or heartbreak and stuff like that, we cannot deny somebody's reality or somebody's stories and pain. But what we can do is to really put your energy into something that brings you joy, even if it's something small or something that takes your mind off it for just a little while. And if you make it a habit every day to write your gratitude list, it's really, really important, because it trains your mind to look for more things to be grateful for. And shut down the news. You can know what's going on, but you don't have to sit glued to the TV because everything is energy and there's not much you can do about it anyway. So just ignore it for a while. Get rid of anyone, seriously, who is not good for you. Whether it's a partner, a friend, a family. If somebody's abusing you, just get the hell out. And it's not easy at all. I mean, don't just get out. I mean, you have to have your finances in order, your life in order. Get your basic needs met and your environment under control, and then start to see what you want to pursue. Don't get discouraged. Just keep on going. There's so many resources online for free. A lot of people are willing to help. I'm always willing to help with free information. There's incredible people we wouldn't dream of meeting are online and offering their guidance. So go look for that. Go see what you want to do, and then find the right people to learn from and apply it.
And this is, I think, is the easiest way to be lonely, really, to be lonely. If you do all of this, you will be really alone.
You need to be alone for a while to get your life in order.
Oh, okay. So that's a part of the process of growing process.
Yeah, you don't want interfering energy. You can communicate. Don't ignore your friends and family. Obviously, don't ignore anybody. But that time dedicated to your own well-being is sacred. Like, even if it's a few hours a day to yourself.
Okay. Finally, let me come to this chapter of writing. What are some of the best techniques and tips of writing that can make you a better writer? I'm touching your perspective as a best seller here. What you want to share with young writers or editors who are thinking or dreaming of plunging in this world of writing and enjoying those moments of liberation and those healing moments in the process of writing?
Discipline is really important. I don't waste your time, and writers tend to do that a lot. Don't get lost in the research forever, and set a specific time. Every project you will have to create a habit all over again, because if you have your first book, first thing is be honest. Be honest in your emotions. I'm not just talking about nonfiction, I'm talking about fiction as well. Be honest, give each character their own voice. Don't let them all sound the same. Really deeply understand the process of each your characters. The most important point, I think, is to set an intention for your book, and everything that aligns with this intention, it goes in, and anything that doesn't, it doesn't make it into the book. You can put it aside for other work later, but really set your intention very clearly and your message, what you want to, why are you writing this? Once you know why you're writing it, you start to outline. And really do your best not to be afraid to be honest and outrageous in your writing. We need that. We need you to write. We need voices. We need your own authentic point of view, because nobody can recreate it. Nobody can do it on your behalf. Your experience is really, really unique, and I would love to read it. So
That's a great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let me ask you another question. Is there an important point that you were thinking that we should talk about that we have skipped, and you think that this point is very important for me to cover? Let me cover it, please.
Yes, I think my main point is I just wish people, myself included, I wish that we go back to true connection and be okay with being vulnerable with each other. Uh, I mean, like, I'm very disheartened by the way things are going with the ignoring people, silent treatment, being overwhelmed from social media, messages go unanswered. Uh, you know, people are so scared of really connecting with each other. And it's not just about communicating and talking at each other. It's like truly connecting and being okay with having difficult conversations. It will save so much time. And a lot of the times it silences this monkey mind that is telling us scenarios that don't exist. Had we only just opened up to each other and just told each other the truth, and just to keep things a bit simpler.
So simplicity and natural human connection and better communication will overcome somehow of difficulties. That's great too. Thank you so much. Finally, what is your message to the world?
My message to the world is stop wasting your time and energy. Time and energy, you cannot really get time back, and energy is really contagious. And stop wasting time just yelling at each other about things that neither party is even part of or understands. Enough with the political fights, enough with the religious, whose God is better. And really, we're so much more evolved than that. And you have more important things to do, which is your purpose.
Thank you so much for that great conclusion. Life is shorter, and we should all be promoting peace and justice shall prevail. Thank you so much for all of this.
Thank you.
Hope to meet you again and again in coming edition. Until then, wishing
Thank
you the
you.
very best you wish for yourself. Judah Wolfe from Egypt.
Thank you, Seyid.
All the best.
Thank you.